The White Dragon has been released and is getting geared up, and the butterflies have taken over the police station. So you know this is going to be a jam-packed episode. You know it's Podly, the official Peacemaker companion podcast brought to you by HBO Max and DC. And you better stick around because, of course, we have Jennifer Holland, a.k.a. Harcourt, coming in to chat with us. Let's get into it.
Why is there a bald eagle in your car?
It's Eagley.
Eagley is your pet eagle.
Yeah.
Is your dog named Doggy?
All right.
Do you have a daughter named Daughtery?
Welcome everyone to episode 6 of Podly, the official Peacemaker companion podcast brought to you by HBO Max and DC. And I'm your host, Fiona Nova.
And I'm your host, Nwadiwe.
We got a bunch of twists and turns this episode. It ended in a cliffhanger with Leota discovering that Mern's a butterfly, but plot twist, everyone knows that Mern's a butterfly.
Yeah.
So we're going to be talking about it, chatting about it.
Yeah.
We got a lot of things to deep dive into, and then we have an amazing interview with Jennifer Holland, aka Harcourt, the love of my life. So, yeah, let's get into it.
So like the episode before, like you said, she finds out Mern's a butterfly because she put on the X-ray helmet. It's this big moment. Then Harcourt pulls up at the start of this episode and basically reveals that almost everyone except for Vigilante and Peacemaker knows. Probably Eagley knows if he was able to speak.
Yeah.
But Judo Master said, you don't know,
Right.
what they're up to. And it seems like, we didn't know.
Obviously, Mern being a butterfly at that time in the past episode when we discovered it, it was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But I really do love the fact that everyone just knew.
Yeah. I know.
Everyone was not surprised.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I guess it makes sense on how they're getting that information is because there's like an insider. A butterfly is playing both sides.
Yeah.
So it's pretty interesting. I think it gives actually the butterflies more character, in my opinion. So yeah, no, I mean this was a lot of fun to like that beginning sequence.
And then the fun continues when we go to the show and
with
tell.
the show and tell, which I was like, where did this come from?
I know, it's such a fun aside where you get to see just this kind of lighter side, especially since it seems like things are about to get more intense. So we get a little more fun before things get super serious.
And I feel like it will always be fun, but yeah, you're right. It's gonna kind of take some turns, maybe some emotional turns. And I think like the show and tell part, whether it advances the plot or not, it is just a great aside to like, and I love the interaction with a kid and like obviously Peacemaker, who is not good at any kind of social cues and is probably not the person who should be talking to children.
Oh yeah.
Like I don't think he's the right person to be doing that.
Like, she was Wonder Woman was I effing me. Yeah. And he was like, hey, and he was like, I said effing.
Urkel.
Have you met Wonder Woman?
I've never met her, but she did spend an entire party I-effing me from across the room.
Sick.
Dude, I said effing. Any more questions?
So then we have this issue where Peacemaker's dad is now out of jail.
Yeah, so that was a whole thing that was so tough because I'm like, I got the wrong person, but he's bad. Let it happen. Stop trying to be a super cop. And so they free this super powered white supremacist because they think that's what's best. And they're trying to take in Peacemaker. They're onto it, and we're also having this kind of conversation now that Peacemaker is having with Goff.
Right, yeah, Goff starts tapping on the jar, and that's also a great interaction between Vigilante and Peacemaker. They're always having the best convos of how do we communicate.
Yeah.
Also, Vigilante completely missing the point of asking yes or no questions.
Okay, Goff. 1 tap is yes. 2 taps is no. Do you understand? Okay, Goff, is that a peace sign?
Ooh, Goff, what's your favorite color?
Dude, it's yes or no questions. I just said it.
Right, okay, yeah. Goff, is your favorite color teal?
Bro, what the fuck?
It was just so perfectly frustrating in that friendly, frustrating way where it's like, no, we're focusing on other things right now.
Yeah, and I mean, okay, so from there, we get the trailer surrounded because they're trying to take down Peacemaker.
Yeah.
The police are.
Yeah. We have this fateful moment where Goff gets out because it breaks while they're running out and takes over another person.
And it's not just like any person of like a really big detective.
Yeah.
So she does have power, which we did realize. We kind of learned that the butterflies are taking positions of power.
Yeah.
It seems. So this is not just a person that
Yeah.
they're taking over. It's someone
Yeah.
who has access to the entire police department.
Yeah.
And higher ups and stuff.
But, Peacemaker is eventually able to get out with this cop who was trying to save him before with the fingerprints. And then she went above his head. And now he's cleaning up after her, who is now a butterfly. So it's a real mess.
And so from there, we jump into like this insane swarm of butterflies that are now about to essentially take over the police department.
It's a whole
they are
montage.
going to take. It's a whole montage.
You got the butterflies taking over, but then you also have the white dragon gearing up,
getting ready to take.
Getting all these like white supremacists to like. Essentially, it seems like they're going for Peacemaker.
They're going to take him down.
They're going to take him down. So it's a whole mess. And the only thing that can calm us down after seeing all of that is seeing that Peacemaker actually is making some progress with Harcourt.
That scene was really interesting because not only did we get that kind of soft side of Harcourt, but we also got this really, like, I think, poignant message from Peacemaker essentially saying, I appreciate this gesture of putting the dove, right?
Yeah.
But it's not the dove I'm worried about. It's like, I don't want to kill anyone anymore. Like, what am I doing? I felt like that was very, not only is it just a heart-to-heart with Harcourt, but it's also just opening up Peacemaker to us. Seeing that, he is really trying to do good, but he's maybe just a little lost and possibly a little dumb.
Yeah.
Not possibly.
Yeah.
We've been new.
But yeah, he's, and then he hops on that piano and starts tickling the ivories.
Yeah, and that's when we kind of get a glimpse of like the backstory.
We really get into like the nooks and cranny of it. And then we have that bombshell of a press conference where the diary has finally been found, which, that was the moment because now all of this is yet again falling on Peacemaker.
Now the relationship between Leota and Peacemaker are like, on the edge.
Yeah. Remember, she did that at a time where they were actually connecting in a big way.
Yeah.
And now it's blowing up in her face.
Well, I think she knew what she was doing wasn't super right, but I think like she kind of forgot about it and then it got brought back up and it's like, oh no, like we did all of this together. I wish I didn't do this. Like I know there's going to be a ton of regret.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a recap.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of things to talk about in episode 6, but we are very lucky to have Jennifer Holland here.
Yeah. Who plays the love of your life.
The love of my life. Let's kick it over there and see what's up. We are joined for episode 6 by the beautiful and amazing Jennifer Holland, who has an amazing, I love the shirt. I immediately when I saw you, I clocked the shirt and I was like, butterflies.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm like, will they mention the shirt?
Good. Of course.
Yes.
How could I not?
Yeah, no.
No, it looks so great. So listen, we've got a bunch of questions for you, but let's start it off. This episode 6, it just continues to reveal kind of the softer side of your character, Harcourt. Do you like playing a no-nonsense badass, or do you like digging into that tender stuff, the juicy things?
I think that you kind of dig into both of those things. I think the thing about Harcourt is that I just love her. I love every aspect of who she is. And she's a really complex, complicated, flawed individual. I think she's awesome. And I just feel so grateful for James to write this really wonderfully complex character that I get to portray.
Yeah, I know. And you definitely see elements in that when, you see the group chat come into play and just, you're like, oh yeah, no, it's all coming together. It seems like we're getting into that soft exterior, hopefully. And on the like badass side, it looks like we got a, big action set piece on the way. And how do you like approach the physical action in the show?
For me, I grew up as a competitive gymnast, and having the opportunity to use my athletic abilities in this role was kind of just a dream come true. I've never gotten to do action like this before. I've gotten to do little pieces and things, but this stuff is just so juicy and amazing. And we had the most incredible fight choreographers and stunt team. And they choreographed, in my opinion, some of the most amazing fight sequences throughout this series. I would have not looked cool at all if it weren't for Julia, who's my stunt double. She taught me everything. She spent so much time with me, and I had a great time with her. She's really, really awesome.
Seems like so much fun just to like roll around, jump around. Yeah. But then I realized, oh no, that's probably really hard.
Yeah.
And I probably would break an ankle. Yeah. But listen, I think this is something that I've always wanted to ask, because you play it so straight in the show. Like you have to keep your composure. You have to you are the person who doesn't laugh, but you are playing with a bunch of goofs. And I just want to know, how hard was that to just be your character when there's like a dick joke happening right next to you, or so? Like how were you able to do that?
I don't want to discount anyone's role on a project or anything like that, but to some degree, it's a little bit easier when you don't have to be funny. Like my character is the straight man in a lot of ways, and maybe there's some comedy that comes from the situations or something like that with her, but for the most part, she's just authentically who she is. So that's how I was able to approach everything that I was doing. But I won't lie, they broke me sometimes. It's just the nonstop improv that comes out of John Cena is mind-blowing. So you just never know what you're gonna get, and it's great.
I know, especially after hearing like the celebrity names were improvised in the earlier episode. So he was just he's just running, going. Just going.
I mean, it was nonstop. I just applaud him because I don't even know where those names came from in his brain. I can't remember my own name most of the time.
Well, speaking of Peacemaker, it seems like Harcourt's starting to, soften on Peacemaker, and there's something growing there. Is it, is that what's going on? Is he growing on Harcourt?
I think he's always been into Harcourt. Peacemaker has really been into Harcourt throughout the whole series. I think the beauty of the scene that James wrote in episode 6, she goes and she spends her time engraving a dove of peace on a weapon for him. And that's a huge gesture for Harcourt. I think she's already been on this path of accepting that she isn't a lone wolf, and she finally found, to some degree, a family, and she accepted that she's not alone. She has a team, and maybe these people are her friends.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, I remember that moment when she when Harcourt grabbed her phone and took that picture, and seeing that moment it just made me warm for her in a way that I can't really explain, but I really love that moment.
That's really good.
Well, I want to know, because there's a lot of relationships in this show, and I thought it'd be interesting to see, not tear them up, but see what, okay, so let's say there's a burning house. Okay, let's say there's a burning house and you've got the gang in there, and Harcourt can save them one at a time. Who is Harcourt saving first, then saving second, then saving third? I want to know. I think it's interesting. I want to know. So who do we think Harcourt's saving
Okay,
first?
So I think that Harcourt would save Adebayo first.
Perfect. Love it.
I think Harcourt believes that Adebayo cannot take care of herself, so she would be afraid that she would need to save Adebayo first. So that's that first one. I think secondly, she would definitely save John Economos, because again, low hanging fruit. I mean, she's worked with John for a very long time, but I think she'd probably be most concerned about Adebayo and Economos. And I think beyond that, if it seemed like Eagley wasn't able to get out of there, I think she would begrudgingly save the bird. And then it just goes down from there. It's probably,
Then who cares? Yeah, that was a great answer. Thank you. I just wanted to know. Yeah.
Peacemaker visits a class show and tell with mixed results. So what would you bring to a show and tell today? Yeah.
How about this? I would bring that white dragon costume just so we could have a conversation about it. Because what the heck, guys? Like, why are we talking about? I mean, what the heck is going on?
Yeah, it's so wild.
We've got a racist superhero on our show. What is happening?
You're right, and like White Dragon was in the comics, which was even wild because White Dragon. There was a point where I was watching and I was like, oh yeah, this has to be a pull because James have been doing some deep cut. Like at this point, we've heard Matter Eater Lad, which comes up in every weird superhero ranking. Like so I was like, and sure enough, there was a hero, and funny enough, he was a member of the Suicide Squad at some point. So yeah, racist, anti-hero. I'm just gonna say villain.
Yeah,
I'm just going.
Yeah, super villain. Super villain.
Yeah, super villain. Yeah. Worst nightmare. But yeah, the suit, look.
It's clean.
It's clean.
It's clean. It's a clean suit.
It's a clean suit.
It's white. There's some,
yeah, it screams that.
Yeah.
We know.
Yeah, we know what you're about when you show up. That's also the person behind the helmets too, which I'm like, all right, you have too much power, sir. Yeah, you go back to jail, please.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen, we have our favorite segment of this show, which we call Eagley Mail.
Ooh.
Essentially, we take a question from the community and we ask our guests. This question. So we have one from the DC community, who asks, "Was Eagley a real eagle?"
Was Eagley a real eagle on set?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, there was never a real eagle on set. No. I think that James is smart enough to not work with a real animal like that. Mm-hmm. It's hard enough to film a movie or a TV show. So, no, I think that it also doesn't get you a whole lot. I mean, I don't know, other than a headache. So I think at one point they had brought an eagle in for like motion reference or whatever, but it was always like a little stick with a dot on it, but it was always a fake eagle. Surprise! Okay,
follow-up question. Would you be willing to work with a real eagle?
Sure. I mean, why not? I would. I love birds. I think birds are really cool, especially if it was a trained one. I think it would be a unique challenge. I'm not like a falconer or anything like that, but it sounds fun. How about you? Would you like to work with a real eagle?
Oh, definitely. I just want to see those talons up close because I feel like next to owls, eagles are the most evil-looking birds. Like they always look so angry.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to say no. I'm good. That thing will eat me.
It might peck at you.
Will peck at me, but yeah, no. Okay, that's great. No, I mean it makes total sense that they, mocapped. It's VFX.
Yeah,
we can do anything in VFX now.
We can do.
We are untethered now.
Yeah. That is true.
But yeah, well, listen. I mean, that was our last question for you, and Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us and chatting with us. We had an amazing time.
Of course.
And taking some time out of your day to hang out with us. It means a lot.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
All right. Well, that was an amazing interview, but you know what time it is. It's time for this week's Peace Prize.
So, Peacemaker can handle himself in most situations, except when kids are just owning him continuously. And so the kid with the sad eyes, that's what he said. I don't think he had sad eyes, but that's what he said, takes a real does like a deep cut of lore here.
That's from Batman Volume 1, issue 133.
Okay.
So a TV show in 2022 out here giving a Kite Man reference. Hell yeah.
Ooh. So I think this scene specifically should definitely get the award of deep cut.
100%. That is I couldn't think of a more deserving deep cut award.
Questions? Yeah, kid with the sad eyes.
You said the Black Heart Ruby weighed 30 pounds.
Yes,
And Kite Man was riding a kite?
that's right.
Wouldn't he have crashed anyway due to gravity?
No.
Look, that's another time to talk about that DC Universe Infinite. You know, go ahead, you can plug that in, and you can find out about Kite Man yourself. See, I like that the show is helping us help you get more, nerd stuff for your crew. Well, thanks everyone for watching. We got to get up out of here. It's about that time.
It is about that time.
But thank you for watching and listening to Podly, the official Peacemaker companion podcast from HBO Max and DC. And make sure you're going ahead to subscribe to us on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter, and giving us your favorite moments from the show.
And if you want to rock some sweet, sweet Peacemaker merch, check out the shop at shop.dccomics.com and you can see all the latest drops.
And just like I was saying earlier, make sure you sign up for DC Universe Infinite. That's the one way you can be caught up on all the things referenced on the show. And then when you're all addicted to comics, you could just keep watching them because they have a subscription service that keeps you tapped in to the culture. Nerd culture, that is.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. So, don't forget to, follow us, like I said, and of course, stream Peacemaker and Podly on HBO Max. And get ready for the next episode. We're getting towards the end of this, and it's only going to get better. So, we'll catch you next time. Keep the peace.
We keep in peace.
Keep the peace.